You're listening to The Angry Designer, where we cut through the industry bull to help frustrated graphic designers survive and thrive. What's up, Angry Designers? Massimo here. So thank you for coming back on this part 2 of the Aaron Draplin Shit Gets Real podcast. So if you didn't listen to the first one, what the hell are you doing here? Stop right now, go to the other episode, listen to the other episode, enjoy, laugh, get angry, do whatever it is you got to do. And then when you're done with that, come back and listen. For everybody else who did listen to episode number 1, right? Like, it was unlike anything I was expecting, in all fairness. I mean, again, you know the guy as a celebrity, you kind of follow him, you see him on Instagram, you see him on YouTube and his talks and this and that, and he's totally one way. You put this whole image in your mind of what he's like, but then the reality is you get the chance to hear him, talk to him, something like this, and it's just like, shit gets real. Like, he is so legit. And I think that's what I took most out of that first half. And, spoiler alert, this second half is a lot of the exact same stuff and more. We talk about business, we talk about work, we talk about cool clients and stuff, but then we also still talk about life. And again, all I can say is it really humanized the dude and made me think of him and myself in a different light, in all fairness. And I hope you guys get the same aha or amazement that I did. So please, by all means, grab yourself a drink. I don't really care what it is. For me, it's bourbon right now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. It's good enough for a bourbon. For you, okay, you can go get your smoothie or your coffee or whatever it is you want to get. All right, sit back and enjoy. We love what we do, but then when you got to balance that shit with, like literally our virility, like just, living forever. I mean, how do you balance that shit? Like, obviously, because we talked about what happens, what's the next 10 years of what we are doing for a living look like, balancing, health. Because I mean, okay, you're probably going to you're very close to a place where you could probably be like, you know what, I'm out. You know what I mean? I can hang out, ride it easy for the next little while, get a little piece of property or whatever. But we talked about like Saturday night, my Saturday night sessions. You're working on the weekends on something that you love, right? Do you know what I mean? How much does this play into this? Is this like, inspiration to keep going, to keep the fight going? Or is it, I mean, I can't imagine it's something easy to walk away from.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, about 6, I mean, of course I learned what the term was. I didn't know what the term passive income meant.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But here's the deal. I had never heard the term.
Yeah.
Much less was engaging, and reaping something from like something I had set up. So the idea that like field notes is kind of one of those, and this merch thing, like, we can leave and I'm not really working on a client and it'll sell a bunch of posters and things and goodies and stuff. And the flip side of that is I have to be here to ship it, leave, produce it and make it. Like today, I just had to send, $12,000 to about 3 or 4 new prints, right? Another Ohio, another set of Texas, another set of Washington prints, they're like 250 prints, and it's like, that's probably about $2,500 or $2,000 or something, if you do, whatever. And it's like, damn, I didn't want to have to spend that money, but at what point do I quit making the stuff and then just whittle down all the merch down to just a couple cardboard boxes? You know what I mean? Because with every 10 grand I send off, you elongate, just how much more you're doing this. But the fact of the matter is we're still in this and we don't have any Ohios to sell and we're fucking losing money. And people bought a couple Ohios and they're pissed. Where's my Ohio poster, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, we're constantly trying to be like, do you want to be at this pace? And 55, when you're 55? And the answer is I won't be able to. I just don't want to. It's not, I probably could, because it's not the same as when we were little kids and someone was 55. It's just not the same. No. Sean, you don't, whatever, it's not, it's a couple of years for you. Okay. 5 years, 5.5 years for me. But the idea is like, whatever. It's like, it's not the same 55 when do you remember when we were little fucking kids and someone was 30? They were different. They were just different. It was different.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So we have to kind of take that into like, how the fuck did I just get 28 years without having any meds put inside me.
Fuck, dude. That's amazing. Yeah.
Or maybe a couple ibuprofen. Well, wait.
Yeah.
You know, now we're going back to this health shit, but I had to ask the doc, was I supposed to be taking something I fucked up? He's like, listen, if you didn't need it, you know,
you're doing rocking.
Creatures, you know, it's like, you know, if I go get a Big Mac a couple times every 3-4 months, I have these dumb questions for him, you know, I don't know, you know, and you know, when we look at where it's going, and it's like, okay, what happens if it's not necessarily my ability to make a logo? It's just because you age out. It's an involuntary thing that you don't have control over. You're too old to be in this meeting because you're just this, I don't know, 61-year-old guy. I mean, here's the thing. I'm doing this Jack White poster, and there's always on the tip of my tongue, like, if someone finds out that Aaron Draplin's 48 years old, you know, bottomless, making this thing, does that take away from the luster of whether or not it's a cool poster? I don't think it fucking matters. But I think about it, you know, because, well, you know, I mean, how about this? I just won't think about it anymore. That's not realistic either. You kind of got to put your head into the space of like, well, what does this stuff mean? Because what you said a couple sentences ago, what you said, maybe now you could just go off into the sunset. You know what? My accountant told me, and I'm not trying to brag, she knows how I do and don't spend. She just knows. She sees my patterns, and she was like, you do understand that you could stop now. Yeah. And coast at this level. And you just can't go buy a bunch of new stuff. You know, what do you need? A bunch of guitars.
You got every record available.
I know, right? You see his wall, right?
Listen, you fucks. I got a rush section. I got a rush section that's about this fucking thing.
Hey, how big's your anvil section?
Yes.
God damn it. So, you know, there's a bare naked lady section. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You thanks for that one.
The first record was a good record. I will maintain that. And maybe even the second record.
I'm just a horrible person. You know, I started playing.
I told him you had to pick up the hip, right? Yeah. Because again, Americans don't know about the hip.
That's right.
They don't know about the tragically hip.
Yes.
You got to pick up some of that shit, dude. You want true Canadiana? We always hear about Americana.
Hold on.
The hip.
One of my favorite Toronto bands is a band called Blue Rodeo.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
For real, though?
Legend.
Legends, right?
Look at this. I was going to ask about those axes back there.
There we go.
That hasn't hit me yet?
Yeah. I haven't listened to a lot. But see, I was raised on, you know, your punk rockery.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that means. You know, I mean,
MC5.
I also smashed my head on Sebadoh, which was the indie stuff. The quiet core stuff like Red House Painters, the psychedelic wild stuff like the Flaming Lips and Mercury Rev and stuff, but also somewhere in there, Uncle Tupelo, Sunvolt, and these Jayhawks, and this kind of earthier, corduroy-er, you know, a lot of hair, Americana, and Canadiana, whatever you want to call it. You know, I mean, you know, but as a kid, I had no means no. Vancouver. I was 14, 15, right? So, you know, every time I've ever gone up there to go to, and by the way, I've done a couple shows in Winnipeg. I've done a couple shows in Saskatoon. I've done Vancouver a handful of times. I've done Calgary, Edmonton. I have done St. John's. I've done Halifax.
Nice.
Dude.
I've done Halifax. I've done Ottawa twice.
Beautiful.
Nice.
So I have been Toronto 10, 15 times.
Of course.
Incredible. But I have been pretty lucky to get around there. And I always go in there. It's like when we were way out east, it was like I was listening to Sloan for a couple days.
Sloan is awesome.
When we were way out east, I was getting into all that Rick White, elevator kind of, elevator to hell and all that just weird psychedelic stuff that guy does way, way out there. Okay. Any place I go, like this summer, Nico Case was here. Now I don't know if she's quite Canadian, but she hangs with all those new pornographers.
Yeah.
And then that gets pretty Canadian pretty quick. But nevertheless, I was raised in northern Michigan.
Yes.
3 hours from Sault Ste. Marie. Yeah. That was like kind of an exotic thing for us to go over there. You went
Marie.
So you're really
when you went, when you went across, it was just little things like you went to a Kmart over there and all the stuff had, all the multiple languages and like your G.I. Joe guy looked different over there.
Yes, it did, totally.
Just these little things. Yes. And then not to mention, the Coke bottles were a little bit different and, liters and all this
double
shit was
language.
fucking all these like centimeters and all this horse shit, whatever. Americans, we're going to measure things by Spizzax. What the fuck is Spizzax? That's about this long, just so stupid. These fucking... in my foot, but nevertheless, whatever the question was, when you look, Canada's always been something that was mysterious to me and exotic and stoic because, Canadians love to tell you that you're shitty at your geography. I'm American.
Wow.
Well, the average American.
Only when it matters to Canadian geography.
Well, the average American.
We have no idea what the hell's going on.
They can't even put together what provinces are what. That's embarrassing. I've driven across.
Pretty shitty, dude.
I've driven as far as I could go up to Montreal and then down to Burlington along that one or whatever along the bottom.
Yeah, okay.
That was Detroit to Montreal along the bottom, right? And then, down to Burlington. That would have been, 10, 15 years ago.
Nice.
I've done these road trips all over the place. I've done Highway 1, all the way, Thunder Bay, all the way out to... Yeah. But we couldn't quite get to Vancouver because you started to get to the mountains, and we had to I think it was Moose Knuckle. We took Moose Jaw.
Moose Jaw. I like Moose Knuckle better.
I know. Family term. Sorry.
Shit. It's okay.
But then we go into Montana. But anyway, getting back to this little bit of where this stuff is going. Here's the thing. If I look at my little like sort of like wizard's ball, it's like. I just want to be doing less. Yeah. And I want to have more time to go move, more time to just sleep in, more time to just to chill. And by the way, it's hard because I've had a lot of that,
Well, so dude, and you've been going nuts. You've been going at a crazy pace.
Yeah,
you haven't been riding this gravy train because, if anything, you've worked your ass off. You haven't taken a break. You haven't taken it easy. You haven't hired like juniors underneath you to do like all the bitch work. You've been doing it all yourself.
You guys have heard the little thing about, I got to meet Stefan Sagmeister, and I was on guard because I thought he was going to be too cool for school.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. He was so cool and so nice. He's a fucking wild designer, he's he's just an incredible kind of guy, but I was on edge thinking he was going to be too cool for wherever we were in northern Illinois at this school in rural Illinois. But he was talking about how every 7 years he does that year off thing. And he takes a whole year as a sabbatical. So that means in the last, he's probably 55, 60 years old now. But I was thinking about that just a couple of days ago because I was like, okay.
Are you due?
What if for my 50th year, that's in 14 months, I plan it and I just take the year off.
Yeah.
Now, I got to feed the passive things. I got to feed, the stuff. Those are projects anyway, but there's no client work. And there's very little, ambitious collabs and all that kind of junk. There's no more of these travel. And what would I learn in that year? And that would be a really fun Adobe talk, This is what it looks like. Because The thing I'm working on right now is I have a new website coming because my website is a piece of shit.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a piece of shit, but it does look like it's from 1999.
Translated into Canadian, that would be, let me get a word in here, fellas.
Okay.
Would be, it's a fucking shining turd. Anyways, listen.
Shiny turd.
Okay, but those PayPal links still generate 30 to 40 to 50 orders a day.
See?
Nice.
And that's all that matters, dude.
So what happens when it goes to this slick site that works on things?
Be careful.
It's going to get weird. So that's coming. So probably my next year's talk will be about what I learned building a website and then talking about it, because I spent the entire summer last summer. So for instance, on this site, just in the rock and roll section, there are 47 chapters. If you do one cover for drive-by truckers, it's fucking going in there. I got to work for the drive-by truckers. So when you do 12 records for your favorite Portland band, Richmond Fontaine, you got to put 12 things in there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I spent all last summer doing it. Well, then the fall comes. We're easing up on the pandemic. Got to see my mom. Then we're racing for Christmas. We're making merch. We're making collabs. We're building all this stuff. We selling, shipping. We take a little break after the new year. We're right back at the start of this summer. So the next month and a half, I am hammering on that website, right? Just trying to put this all to now. It's two sides to it. One side is basically just the whole merch site, 700 SKUs. 311 different things as of whatever, right? Okay.
That's a legit business.
It's all up on the fucking site. Okay, fine. It's going to work on phones and all this neat little stuff. Okay. But the other side, I just found out 3-4 years ago, there were these certain links. If you directed people to this certain kind of link for my Skillshare videos, I get a $10 referral if they sign up. I didn't even know. Now, every time I go, now people, when they come there, I'll be able to go, hey, go sign up over at my little flap, on my little fold, whatever. So we'll have that. Or the entire story of field notes and a bunch of new behind the scenes goodies and stuff. That's all going to be on there. So that's what I'm just trying to rake everything in and put that on there, because really it is this sort of culmination of once that's on there, you just add to the mix.
Absolutely.
You don't have to redo it. Because, by the way, why this has been so weird for me is when I got to make my book in 2016, in the summer of 2015, it took me all summer. But I didn't do any client work that summer, and I just enjoyed making the book, and I did it at my own pace. And I designed it, I wrote it, I laid it out. We're not hiring no one else for that shit. And by the way, I made $15,000 by designing it too. Otherwise, they're going to pay some fucker that. No way. So I asked him.
True.
Well, nevertheless, it's all the lessons learned. That was the last time I took everything. I had good form. The last time I took everything and raked it into one big series of really articulated shoe boxes to say that's high school, that's something. Oh, there's stuff in there. Pull a couple things out, scan it in, and then just keep on moving. Well, that's been about 6 years now, and I'm getting the pressure. Well, why aren't you doing another book? Why aren't you doing another book? It's hold on, let me get this website done. Thing up on there.
That's a big thing.
A once and for all sort of sitch. It is not to get new work. I got enough work. It's to just celebrate
your accomplishments.
I talk about every single show I went to. It's just, at least it's there for the posterity. It's there just to list it. It's there to say, fuck yeah, I did 485 of these things over 10 years. That's pretty cool.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
So
your schedule's insane.
That's what I'm working on right now, and that means here's the deal. Every time they dangle another little Jack White poster, or I'm working on a Dinosaur Jr. poster right now.
Right, his band.
Jeez.
My favorite band from high school. All the way back, 33 years now.
Are they still together? I didn't know they were.
It rips. It fucking rips. Well, Like, you're going to say no to that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if there's $1 involved. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just going for it.
Don't be listening to this, Dinosaur Jr.
Well, honestly, it's like, I just did a thing. I'm doing another thing for a band. And I just told him, I said, what's your fee? And I said, I don't even care.
Wow.
What planet are you from? And it was like, listen, send me the record.
Yeah.
Send me a stack of records. I'll give them to my friends. And that's enough for me. Just let me be an honorary roadie for the damn thing.
Yeah,
and really,
cool shit.
What can you guys even cough up? I mean, one guy's got a bunch of kids. One guy, they were never a big thing. I just leveled them and said, I don't even care.
Yeah.
If you guys are still on a stage and I just can be able to go and see it, it's enough for me.
That's a win. Yeah.
No
Right.
kidding,
And it's like, now, if it's something, Jack White, he's got a budget. You don't get to like, just write whatever price that you want to, get. No, you hear them out. They give you what's the competitive thing, and then you go for it. And it's like, now in the next bunch of years, I just want to keep room for that kind of stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
Hopefully there's enough other stuff to help me transition down from this crazy pace I've had.
Yeah.
I've got everything up on the site. I'm feeding that. I'm adding to that because I don't want to sound weird, but it's like, if I croaked, I want that stuff sitting somewhere,
Absolutely,
First of all,
dude.
how long are fucking, machines and things like you're gonna be able to look at data even gonna last for? Hundreds of years, thousands of years, 10,000 years? We're not going to know what's going on in 50 years. Okay.
Yeah.
We're by the way, we're like in the third quarter or whatever it is, like some hockey game. I'm trying to think
Oh, no, we're entering the third period. Third period. I appreciate it.
A buddy of mine the other day, he said, hey, asshole, if you're almost 50 and you have 25 more years, third period.
Literally, that's it. Yeah,
well, I mean, however you want to cut it now. So that's something, like, okay, what the hell am I going to do with this momentum? And by the way, momentum, let's just let it dissipate. I had my run. I documented everything, tried to be a good human being, made a shit whack of loot, saved it all,
Yeah.
What matters?
Yeah.
Dude, you've done it perfectly.
Yeah.
You've lived the dream. You've done what you love. You chose your clients while paying your bills.
Well, my next gig,
Dude,
I'm going to be an exotic dancer.
Wait, when you get that, when you get down to the 150 pounds or whatever you
No. I'm just going to go, plump. By the way, Sean, it's going to be hard living off $7 a month. No. I mean, like my dad would say, well, Jim, you're a tool salesman, and he's like, well, is this what you wanted to be? My dad would just be like, I always wanted to be a cowboy, chaps, just like these stupid little things. I was like, a cowboy. Like, this is the kind of shit that gets me excited. Okay. Now that I got Dr. K and a whole team of specialists checking out,
That's right.
every fold and flap. Every fold and flap of the dock, the doctor's going to...
Get a little bit of this here. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, everything, okay? Yeah, like, by the way, when I go in there, I do this whole thing, and I just kind of go, I'm ready for inspection. I'm just ready.
How you're feeling today.
What do you want? What do you want? And the guy's like, just sit down. We're going to talk about how you're doing on your meds. I'm going to show you every flap. What do you want me to do? My sister's an audiologist.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Okay, cool.
And she does hearing aids and tests, and now she sells them and
Sorry,
stuff.
what was that again?
I know, it's pretty good.
I'm a drummer, so I am half deaf.
About 15, 18 years ago, she was just starting out of school. And I went into one of her first jobs in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And she sent me into the booth and she said, well, we're going to test your hearing. And I said, okay. And she goes, well, I just need you to take your, get down to your underwear because, we don't want your clothes like messing with the sound.
Your sister.
She's a doctor. Yeah, my sister. And I'm like, okay. So I take off, and I'm sitting there in my boxer shorts sitting there, and her little assistant, opens the door and walks in, and she's, what the fuck? And I'm sitting there, I'm like, she's, Turns out you don't have to take your clothes off to get
She was fucking with you.
your hearing check. You know, so when I'm at my dock, you know, he walks into my dock, walked in, he looked at me, and I'm like, what? Like I'm just like, what? You know, you want like. You know, and I'm doing all this shit with him like all the time. He's like, just leave your clothes on.
Yeah,
you know, and like,
shit.
you know, like we're getting to the point like where he can walk in. I'm gonna have my pants at my ankles with the long t-shirt, and just be like, "What up?
Yeah.
What do you want?
What do you need to check?
I don't know where I'm going with this, but
Oh shit!
you know,
That's awesome.
less and less. And to the point where, you know, you can kind of coast a little bit more, keep a little more room for helping people. You know, I mean, that's that. You know, yeah. Sorry.
What about the speaking engagements? Like, do you really dig those, or are they? I mean,
We're talking like 20 years worth.
TED
right?
Talks and things like that. Like,
Well, I mean,
Before
they
that,
seem-
there were so many. I mean, like, what, the one year was like 50 in 1 year.
Oh yeah, pre-pandemic, it was 30 and 40 a year, and it's just weird to even think about because it's like the answer is yes, I love it because first of all, it's fun to show. Okay, I don't know how to say it. Like it's like a cake with icing.
Yeah.
What's the icing? The icing is the hour lecture.
yes.
That's just fun.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
is.
no, it's just bullshit, and you know, say some stupid things, take your shirt off, you know, beat you, whatever, you know, like, that's just the icing. But what's the cake? And the cake really is these workshops, and you get to like really like show some tips, tricks, tales, techniques, threats, all the T's. You know, it's fun, and it's like. By the way, you can make some scratch. It's nothing crazy, but you know, you start doing well with those things, and you're doing one every couple weeks. You know, it turned into a business. Now, not to mention, it's not like I put everything on hold when I left. You know, the client work still has to keep happening. You know, I'm working on the plane.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You're working at both ends.
I'm not. You know, this isn't something where it's like, you know, you leave Portland and
Everything,
it all
you drop
just
everything.
stops. No, it's that 6 hours over to Kitchener through a couple of things. You know, there's waiting an hour for the thing. So I'm just sitting there getting a quick 45 minutes in and just having my day built. And before I know it, over the course of the day, I've shipped all the junk I need to ship. I've made changes on things, and I'm sketching for the next couple, you know, phases of a project. So I did that for years. Yeah. So the answer is, of course. But I will say, when the pandemic went down and all of that changed, you know, it's okay to move on to the next thing. That was taken away from all of us then, right? Like, you couldn't go.
Yeah.
But do I need to do it? No. But I'm going to do one in Toledo in about a month, and that's going to be fun because it'll be a twofer. It gets me back to Detroit, striking distance, to see my mom.
Yeah.
Good.
That's cool shit.
So past that, I'm doing one in about a month in North Carolina. They dangled a good fee. A little bit past that, we're going to a WMAX, but I'm not putting together a big series of these things because something, you know, that I forget, I've already done it.
Yep.
And you know, when someone calls you from Toledo, it's like, I already spoke at Bowling Green. You know, it's like, didn't that kind of, quench that there? And the guy's like, no, there's a whole nother batch now of youngsters that you can do a workshop for. People want to come and see what you're up to. Talk about, blood sugar and shit and spikes and all this stuff. You know, I mean, I'll show them the latest bunch of work and, sell some merch and all that kind of stuff. Sure. But it's like, I loved it. It was so fun because, by the way, when I spoke in Hamilton,
that's like right around the corner.
Yeah.
I know, but well, that would have been. Do you guys know? Wow, Bear, big tall guy over in Hamilton.
I mean, there's only 500,000 people. Of course we do.
Well, no, there's this. He's a graphic designer, and I can't remember his name. I'm blanking, but a guy brought me there about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And, we got to see, like, home of the BlackBerry or whatever the hell they were talking about.
No,
and
we are the home of the BlackBerry.
No, I mean, we were looking, aren't they kind of close to each other, right?
Yeah, like an hour away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hamilton's close enough.
Well, when I went back for my second time in Hamilton, for some conference about, I don't know, about 4 years ago, there were people that came to the first one. So, it's like
Nice.
the second one shouldn't even have happened. So, there's a weird part of me that's like, if I don't get a call from Omaha again, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I did it twice already. I've done it. It was incredible. And I did it. So,
Fucking cool.
I mean, it's a weird thing. It's like, now it's more like, all right, where haven't I gone? And I got an email on the thing right here where the guy's like, Pittsburgh. It's like, I've done Pittsburgh like 6 times, but it's like, well, we do want to go to the Warhol Museum there. So, now we'll see to Pittsburgh. And by the way, when I am back in Toledo and in Detroit in a month, that is striking distance to Pittsburgh. So it's kind of like, shit, man, maybe we just kind of pull off a little workshop there. It doesn't need to be to 500 people. It needs to be to 10 maybe. 10 or 15 or 20. And if you got everyone pony up a day, $150 for a day of my knowledge, you make $3-4 grand for a day.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's amazing. When we were on the book tour in 2016 and 17, we did 40 shows on one tour.
Jesus.
So, add that up. It's like $4 grand, $3 grand. I shouldn't be talking about the numbers, but the fact of the matter is, you add it all up, we made a salary in like 8 weeks, and then and got to see America and got to rip around. And then the thing that no one ever talks about is just all the high fives of all the people that you get to meet. If I came back to, where you guys are at, you would be guests of honor, and you'd come and hang out. We'd go have dinner, get to see you guys, get to, talk, what you're up to, what I'm up to, and then show you this dumb show. And then, and then you guys go back to your lives. It's like, that's a really weird elixir, and it just gets into you. But, when the pandemic went down, like, just to illustrate, when the pandemic went down, I had 3 weeks in Australia booked. And that was also being a keynote at Semi-Permanent, which is like their Adobe Max. It's the big one down there, right? In Australia. So I had like a couple weeks booked there and a bunch of shows. We were putting together a whole tour. That went away. And I had about 6 other shows, and I guess it would have been March and April. It was 2 months worth of shows booked. Now, who cares what the money is? Because it was a nice chunk of scratch. It was just more like, shit, I didn't get to go to Copenhagen. One of the shows was in Copenhagen. And it was like, fuck, I want to go over to Copenhagen. That was going to be my once or twice a year I go over to, it was to the point where I was going to Europe 3 times a year.
Oh, wow.
And 4 times a year sometimes. That is insane. Yeah, where you should be going 4 times a year? Like to San Francisco. That's only like an hour and a half from me. I was going 6 times a year there. It was kind of getting weird, but, I miss it. I miss all the friends I made. I miss selling merch and, kissing babies. And now you're like afraid to like shake someone's hand.
True enough.
I was doing these fucking selfies where it was like nose to nose with people, breathing on each other.
6 feet, buddy. 6 feet.
I mean, you can't even, like, what's going to happen at Adobe Max this year? Lee is already on my shit. Like, they're not allowed to climb on you like they do. They're just not allowed to. You can't. Yes, you're that guy. Yes, you'll sign every autograph. Okay, good. They know that. But you're not going to be able to be doing like, so we were talking about like making light of that and having like something fun where it does keep the distance for the selfie.
Yeah.
Like imagine like these like thick lines. There's one behind me, but then the next one behind me. So that just creates a background. The next ring is about this big. And then it goes to this, then it goes to this, then it goes to this, and then where they stand.
And where they stand. Dude, that's perfect.
It creates dimension, but then they're 4 feet away, and we do the snap, and I do the thing.
Dude, that's
whatever.
good. That's good.
It's like, when people would come up to you, I can't tell you how many times people would say, am I allowed to even come up to you? And it was like, I'm just standing here. It's a charming thing, but it was like, well, other designers that they had just tried to approach.
Of course.
It wasn't one of
And
those.
you're not that guy, dude.
Fuck, never.
You're not.
Never.
No,
You know what?
no.
Hey, nice to see you, Awesome. I'll remember the names and the faces. And shit. It might take a couple. To this day, like we went to IKEA yesterday. We were at IKEA, and I got recognized twice.
Awesome.
He just comes up to me and goes, "Hey, dude, I love what you do." And I was like, "Hey, man, well, they got a good price on candles over there. Whatever." It's like, these are like, it was cool.
Candles are great.
We talked about, kind of know him from town, and it was like that. When that happens, it's because it's part and parcel with all these times I've been so lucky to go. And how do you turn that off? I don't know how you turn it off. I mean, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. But if we can just do maybe like that's what Lee's like. What if you did one every couple months?
Yeah.
Special ones. Yeah. And you make sure you
Special
ping pong around. You do an international.
Yeah.
You tell your story, and you do a New York, an Atlanta, a Southern California, a couple middles, and something up here.
Dude,
and
that's what you plan on your 50th year off, your sabbatical. You do that shit. It's easier for you to do. It's like a 10th% of what you've already been doing this whole time, right? And you can kind of still gauge what you need to at this point.
Another buddy said, he goes, "Why don't you take the year off, and then you come back and you do your thank you graphic design tour. You build a book."
Yep.
And I booked those tours. I just, I knew people from other times, and I would call and they would say, "Oh, here's the person you talk to go do this college here." And I put the feeler in, and then, "Oh, you have a fee, you don't have a fee." I did all that, right? And booked all those tours. He was like, "Maybe you go chill for a year.
Yeah.
What you learned, you make that next book." What would that be? And you make that next book, and then you go out with a purpose to say goodbye to graphic design, because you are transitioning. You're getting out of the way for a bunch of other people. I mean, how much shit do you take up, Draplin? Like, who talks like that? But
you can't go, dude. You can't
at
go.
some point, you just kind of.
You.
Well, but at some point, you pull back and say, I mean, no one sees me do this, but I already do a lot of that. Exactly. I already do a lot of that, and then someone comes to me and says, "Hey, we got this hot shit set of T-shirts." It's like, I know it's only going to be about $2,500 for 3 of them. I got a little cut and paste of like younger people that are still hammering. I send it all the time. I have a very form letter that says, "Thank you for considering me, but you guys, I'm building my website. I'm okay. And then please go check out her and check out him, check out that, whatever. Just give the little list and fire it off." And I've gotten some pretty fun phone calls, a couple weeks later saying, "Thanks for putting my name in." Yeah. And I was like, well, right. I mean, this stuff lands in my lap still. Let's make sure it doesn't go much farther into someone else's fun lap. We don't want to break anyone's heart by being like, "I can't do it." Like, nothing sucks more than when someone reaches out to you with an opportunity and you just miss the email. That's bad craft. It's bad. It's bad business. What if they come back in a year and you're ready to pounce for them? So, no one ever talks about that. No one ever sees that side of me, but I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, good for you.
I've done enough, in some respects, And by the way, if all client work just dried up, I still make a good little coin selling little bullshits.
It's not even about that, dude. At this point, it's absolutely not about that.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. It's why this is fun to talk about is because I'm always going too fast to stop myself and actually talk about it. So like when friends come in here, it's like you don't want to see the latest project. How you been? How you been feeling? How what have you been doing? That kind of.
Exactly. Let me ask you something. And it's a big question, probably kind of good to near the end of this thing, because I mean, I can keep you here all night long, dude. Absolutely.
You're a busy man, though. We don't.
I know. And you get your Jack White thing you're working on. I don't want to. But I know. But listen. So you're humble. Everybody's like, you are a hero. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are, a good celebrity designer. You're people that everybody looks up to, right? Like people follow you and because I know you're worthy of it because you're genuine, you're legit. do you struggle with imposter syndrome at all? Are you sitting back and thinking, why the fuck are these people following me? I'm doing this for whatever.
Because it's all calculated. No. No, because there's so many. It's such a fun one to answer.
It is. It's tricky, right? It's a tricky one.
Well, first thing, you just don't want to beat yourself up because, first of all, as you get older, you realize what is and isn't healthy for your brain or just for your way of making or way of thinking. And it's like, I got over procrastinating a long time ago, and I realized that's just bad craft.
Yeah.
And you're getting yourself into these fucking pickles where it's like, why you're aging yourself by doing that. When the Jack White calls, start fucking sketching right away, man. Make it a game.
Yeah.
Today I got to just sit and like podcast it up, listen to records, and rip it up and just try to make something cool for the guy. Okay, but there's already a series of sketches and approvals and things up to this point.
Cool.
But no, it's more like relevance. Like, do these people looking on my Instagram give a shit about what I have to say? Yesterday I put up a post about some this young person I saw at this portfolio show, and they had this incredible little illustration that just really struck me, about growth and whatever, great craft, good, it's a great little illustration. But I just tried to put that into a little thing. Like, do people even care to read that? Because why do I keep putting this shit out there? But when it was an audience of 6 or whatever it is now, it was fun to communicate with those 6. So here's the deal. I know I have my way about me of like, I know I can make a good little design. That's enough for me. I think a lot of this stuff stems from likes and clicks and hearts and, weird little validations of like, I mean something, or maybe I'm good, or maybe I'm the best. But it's less and less of worrying about whether or not I'm invited to the thing or I'm allowed to attend it. I'm fucking there, and I'm going to steal all the waters from the backstage.
I love that. I love that you did
I'm
that.
there. I mean, I know I'm there. But with that currency, how do you spend that in a creative with a little bit of fuckery involved? For instance, Toledo, we're coming up on. The guy said to me, he was like, hey, man, we got a bunch of students that can't even afford gas right now. And I just said, let them in.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that ticket price. I don't give a shit. I'll get to see my mom for 4 days and help her move down to Detroit.
Good for you, man.
Let them all in. By the way, we've been doing that for fucking years. And just between me and you and all your listeners, my record for smuggling motherfuckers in was 9 at How Conference 2012 or 13. Well, there's this group of guys that are writing me and saying, we're not paying $1,600 for a How ticket to come see your show. And I said,
well done.
Get there, let me just sort of case the joint. So I get there, do a little reconnaissance. I look around, I find this one door where there's no alarm.
Yeah.
And I text these, whatever. And I say, okay, pieces of shit better be there at 3:05. I go on at 3:15. At 3:05, I open the door. They got the whole fucking block out there with it. I'm like, all the, I thought it was you and your buddy. Got 9 friends from this whatever program or some school or something. I go, okay, listen, you motherfuckers. Don't touch anyone. Don't talk to anyone. Don't eat anything. Just go sit down. They don't even got passes. And fucking bring them all in. And smuggle them all in, and smuggle them all in. And they all sit down. And, I call out there. I go, now I have some friends in the crowd. And they're all, these, a whole fucking wave of hands goes up, and motherfucker. And then when you're done, just leave. Right? Now that happened. And it's like,
you rocked.
That's awesome.
You rocked, dude. You
know
rocked.
what, man? It didn't hurt.
Fuck,
buddy.
you rock.
Yeah.
No, man. It's because it's like you don't leave a single person behind. You rock. Fuck you. That's awesome.
So, like when you now this idea of like, listen, to this day, I understand that when I go up in front of it'll be scary at Toledo just to get up there for one little second. I'll be like, oh man, I'm getting too old for this. I'm not cool enough for this. I've aged out. I've just beat this horse so many times. But no, it's like, no, Tell them about going to the dock. Tell them about working for Chris Stapleton. Tell them about, what you're working on, scheming up a house. When I built this studio, that became a big part of the whole talk. Because I want to inspire some other little rat kid to be like, oh, I could start saving now and have one of these, whatever. Because no one ever showed me that shit, So, the latest is the latest. I hope it's interesting. But, I gave up beating myself up about that stuff because
good for you.
When we go on I do these virtual things and I talk to the kids, they always bring up the imposter syndrome because it's like, listen, it sucks when you're struggling and you're freaking out and then you look over and some asshole's got 100,000 followers and 100,000 likes and 100,000 clicks and 100,000 jiggling whatever tits and bullshit.
That's what I mean. It doesn't mean much to get to that point.
It's just so weird, like what people are interested in these days, and what entertainment is, flicking through the little voices, the little TikTok. I don't know. Yeah. But how do you, it's like, I understand the pressure they're under. Cool. And I understand what that's like. We had our own set of pressures in 1991 or whatever it was.
Yes,
we had our own little bit of things, Mm-hmm. But I try to understand their pressures and say, okay, cut them a little bit of slack and say, hey, man, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
With graphic design or art or just, how about this? You like to play guitar? Play fucking guitar. If you suck at it, keep going until you get a little better. That's right. What happens if you never get to the point? Who cares? You did it. It's not like you were just wilding away watching Netflix. Which, if that's what your jam is, do it. Become some kind of reviewer who writes about, I don't know, something. Okay. There's just ways to attack this stuff. And by the way, we're not getting any younger on any level. Go and attack this now. So, I try to be soft because there's just all these external pressures now for people where it's like, if you were raised with this in your hand now, like raised with this in your hand, like you were born with that, in the womb, these little, if you take this out of the kid's hand, the hand just looks like this, it's like, it snaps in there and it's like that.
G.I. Joe grip permanently.
Well, this is kind of what
Kung Fu grip.
It was happening.
Look at this. Ready? Look, Kung Fu grip. Look at this. Slides in there. We've been destined for this. Slides. This is my grip, man.
So a couple days ago, we were going out to eat, and it was a special thing, and it was like just because we try to go real healthy Monday through Friday, and then Friday night we'll go out and have a shit meal. Then I gotta be cool for the weekend, right. And it goes right back, and you do it again. Well, we're going to IKEA, and I realized I didn't have my phone. I didn't have my phone, and it was like, well, shit, you got to have, you need your phone to like check in to see what the latest thing is, or you check in on that, or check it. And it was a test. I said, you know what? Do I really need to be like flipping that? Why can't I just be present and look at the new stuff? And then if I want, and I need to make a note, put in my field notes,
Attaboy.
There. So, that's interesting to me. And it's like, that's what I'll talk about instead of like saying, well, here are the 19 steps you do to beat up your imposter syndrome. No, I'll just say, hey, you guys, cut yourself, go easy on yourself. By the way, this stuff is, I don't know, you can't, some people make money on it, but you're not going to make money just looking at Instagram. You got to go build things to put on it. And how do you get there? You got to go unlock that weird little bit of special sauce that makes your own little way, and it's never easy, So just understand that. So, I don't really, but I'm just trying to think of like, I try to build up my confidence, but there'll be stuff, by the way, that, I don't know if it's imposter syndrome as much as like, I was afraid I was going to be a bad patient to go to the doc, but they are trained to handle bad patients. That's I like. Well, right, or just like a handful. Yeah. Like I love when I tell the doc like, how many years of school? How many years of school did you go to? Well, it's undergrad, and it's like 11 years, 12 years or something. Yeah. And I go, Jesus. 12 years of school to investigate this fold right here? Did you ever think that this was going to be the Mount Everest of your life, that all those years and all that money, and you have to look at the psoriasis in my ass crack? He's like, Draplin, stop it. I'm like, that's just the facts. And you start to laugh. And it's like, think about that, you motherfucker. What you think? You're working on, something? I'm like, you're working on me. So, hey.
That's awesome.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, should we keep going or just wrap it up? Is there,
listen, we're going to wrap this up. Hold on. We're going to wrap this up with, appease us. We've got a rapid fire.
Yeah.
Questions.
Okay.
2 minutes, all right, and then you're done, dude. Because you know what? Honestly, we could talk to you forever.
Yeah,
you're too fucking real. You're cool. You've been angry. We haven't. If you listen to our podcast, I mean, we bitch about a lot of things, and we help people with a lot of the shit. But you've made it real, man. Yeah. You haven't. This is fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Let's finish up with 20 questions.
Honorary angry designer.
Dude, he's
brother.
so fucking angry. Honestly, you.
Well, we were talking yesterday. I said, I have a high-level podcast on Sunday, and she said, "Who?" And I said, "The Angry Designer."
Who the fuck are they?
Well, she said, "You should talk about how mad you get when you hear the word literally."
And you did.
All right, go for it.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you do the timing. Hold on. Okay, dude. Listen, we could totally fucking talk to you all night long. Is ridiculous, but I know you've got a fucking Jack White poster.
Yeah, you're busy.
Jack White, you got some really cool shit working on. You got to finish off tonight. So we are gonna finish off with a rapid fire, questions. You've got 2 minutes to answer this shit. They're going to be totally random, and it's going to let everybody know, kind of get an idea of what your personality is like, all right? If they haven't figured it out already, okay?
This is profiling.
Profiling, 100%, okay? Hope you're good with it. Well, he's American. Of course they're good with this. All right. Ready?
Start the clock.
Okay. Mac or PC?
Oh, Mac.
Favorite kind of music?
Oh, I mean, whatever's on the record player right now. But I mean, I don't know. I guess it'd be kind of indie rock.
Indie rock?
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Orange.
Favorite cartoon?
Pantone 021.
Got that? Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Favorite cartoon?
What was the Animal Olympics back in the 80s?
What? Dude.
Do you remember this?
No.
It was this kind of 70s or early 80s kind of groovy, the Animal Olympics. Look it up.
Okay, I'm all over that one, but that was pretty crazy. Okay, quick. Who's Marty McFly?
Who's Marty McFly? Oh, yeah? Back to the Future.
Okay, good boy. All right. Morning or night owl?
Oh, definitely night.
All right. What is Quark Express?
Listen, bitch. you want to have a quark off. So my buddy Dave Nakamoto and I, who were like, used to build magazines and shit.
Yeah.
We were, to this day, I'll say, fit to page. I'll be like, oh, shit. We still know our key commands. It's a fucking layout program. All you people listening. Okay, keep going.
Okay, wait. Bonus question. Bonus.
It turned
bonus
into,
question. Bonus. Wait. What was before Quark Express?
That'd be Aldous PageMaker.
Oh, you got it.
Oh, man.
Come on.
All right. Coffee or tea? Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Okay. Puppies or kittens?
Fuck cats, man.
Fuck cats. Oh, come on.
You wake up and their assholes right in your eye. You wake up to just that. Just right in your eye. Just.
That's awesome. I love the visual.
Pirates or ninjas?
Pirates.
Wow.
Serif or non-serif? This one's an easy one.
Oh, yeah. Well, a nice slab serif. We'll get that geometric crisp, buzz kind of, quenched, thirst quenched. Yes, sans serif.
Magazine or tablet?
Oh, mag.
Attaboy. True or false? Newsprint is dead.
No, it's false. People still like to sit and touch things.
I have to agree with that one.
But you know what? No, but then again, we might go out there and find out that is just a nostalgic thing that I just haven't been out enough to see that, no, you can go take your phone and go beep and get all the little things and scroll through those. I mean, it's just the same. What's more interesting is, our insatiable need for a lot of information. That's not going anywhere.
Attaboy.
So
that's absolutely true.
On paper or on your phone, I get it. But here's what I would, as a weird little appendage to this. It's like I welcome it. Everything going dig, but
cool.
What things do you want? Maybe a poster or a little love letter or your kid's little certificate. That should all be on paper.
Absolutely.
What about vinyl? I mean, no one never thought that would come back, right?
Well,
it sounds 10 times better.
I mean, it's just this idea of like the tactile quality of like wanting to sit and read lyrics again.
That's
it's
right.
It's so empty when it's just this little tiny iTunes, And even though I love iTunes, I love the idea of how much you can go on these tears. You go on these like tears. A couple months ago, I went on a tear where it was all these very specific punk bands. Now it would be like the Saints. It would be like Stiff Little Fingers. It was the Dead Boys. It was a certain era and a certain thing. This was the precursor to, even like the Circle Jerks and the Black Flags and stuff.
Oh, wow.
This was all the English stuff, right? These sorts of things. Okay, Sex Pistols had already happened. And then there was like, it got slicker and slicker and slicker for about 3 or 4 years. So, I didn't know who, the only ones were, but they were considered one of those things. And then, then you get into these Black Flags and these meat puppets and SSTs and things and, all these, whatever. Yeah. Like, I love that we have all that shit at a fingertip. And Spotify, I break off bits of it very carefully because it's just, it's like you don't want to. You look at it's like I don't know how to say it. You look at the fucking sea, just take a little gulp of it.
Yeah.
Gulp. You can't drink the goddamn sea. It's like it's too much. Yeah. So I have to go and like just wade in this little tide pool for a little bit and then get the fuck out. Yeah. Anyway, a lot of salt water. Okay, keep going.
AI is going to take over graphic design.
Bleak.
Ooh.
Is it?
Do you think so? Do you think it will?
I don't know.
It's another podcast. I mean,
I don't know, man. I mean, by the way, if it can automate certain things that make our lives easier, instead, like, fuck cake decorating, like, taking over cake decorating. How about automate how to put a needle into you or something, But you know what? They haven't even figured that out because it's, a phlebotomist with flesh and blood who can, like, see your emotions and say, okay, Aaron, quit crying. Let's do this. That was the next time I went there, I found that woman, and went and said, "I'm so sorry for my behavior." And she said,
"Good for you.
You don't have to say shit." And I was like, "Well,
good for you.
I want to be better than that." And she goes, "Don't worry. Even just saying that," she goes, "You were fine." But I just don't want to be that person that like. Here's the deal. If you can get away with a little bit of that, crying and squirming and shit, you'll do it again. I'm not doing that ever again, So next time I get it, I'm getting that shit right in the eyeball. Anyway, keep
Okay, superpower of choice.
Wait, say it again. Superpower of choice?
Hell yeah.
Superpower?
Yeah, what superpower would you want?
Oh, I see what you mean. I thought you meant like, well, America kicks ass.
Okay, that kind of works.
Superpower of choice.
We're coming for you, though.
Know. I mean, what would be really fun is to be able to just go back in time. I always think about that. But it wouldn't be like to go back. I don't know. It's like I just want to go back and like we were just listening to this big podcast about Abe Lincoln getting shot. Wouldn't that be fun just to go back in time and you can't go thwart it, but just to go sit in the audience and just be like,
know what's happening.
This shit's happening, man. And what's that going to be like? What did it smell like in 1865? It's
Interesting. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep. It's a lot more deep than what I was thinking, but
that's a good superpower.
Good job. Yeah. Good job. Okay.
And what people always say, I want a dong that's 19 feet long. Where are you going to put it?
I almost feel really guilty asking the next one, but.
What is it?
Just best video game console ever.
Oh, come on, man.
No, what is it?
It's Nintendo is just, what is it, the 16-bit Nintendo.
Good
boy. What is it? What is it?
NES?
NES? No, that's pretty damn cool.
Tetris for life. There you go.
For life.
Wow, Tetris.
Okay, two more things. One thing that always makes you angry. Literally makes you angry.
Well, just the fact that Trump was able to do what he did.
Ooh, wow. Interesting.
I've been, here we go.
Hell yeah.
Well, here's the deal. It's like proud never Trumper long before that.
Nice.
Attaboy.
Fuck that guy.
He had no business being there, man.
He had none. Yeah. So, listen, dumbest by the mostest, and you've got a lot of unrest, and then you got a lot of people that are just dipshits, and he's a con man, and it took hold, and we're still dealing with it, and I just can't believe it.
I don't think you're done either.
Yeah.
I don't. I hope. If they indict that fuck like they're saying it's looking like it's looking, I don't know how they can't. What he did, I think his little star is faded. I mean, I just I wake up and I just go, I hope that fucker died in his sleep last night. I mean, honestly, it's just been such a scourge on your space and your brain that basically a bully can just come out 100%. And crash around. You're not allowed to be a bully. That's it.
Yeah. There you go. That's exactly it.
Right. Anyway, all right. Keep it going. Sorry.
Last but not least, and this is so much later than that. How many ping pong balls can you fit in Elon Musk's rocket ship?
Elon Musk.
And Musk? Oh, shit. What kind of a fucking question is that? Have another slug off that Canadian Regal or whatever the hell are you drinking there?
18-year Wisers tonight. Okay.
I don't know.
This is like
666 to the power of. Who gives a shit? I don't know.
I think that's legit. Yeah.
I thought you were going to ask ping pong ball. My favorite serve that I had playing ping pong, I called it the elephant's ass. Because here's the deal. What you would do is you would take the ball and you would whip it way into the air, like 7, 8, 9 feet up in the air, 3 meters into the air, and it would come down, and just before you would just kind of, and then everyone would be like overcompensating. And so I'd go, what serve you want? And they go, number 6, and I go, that's the elephant's ass. Why it's the elephant's ass?
So high.
Because it's high and it stinks.
And it stinks.
Oh my God. And these guys fucking nail the ball. I'm not gonna go flying. We used to play ping pong at my first and only studio design job, and play ping pong all afternoon and then go work for 3 hours. And that's why I said I'm gonna go on my own. Less ping pong and maybe make a little more scratch. That's what I did. Well, you guys, all right. I'll play you out.
Okay.
Oh, please. Go ahead.
Play some Rush.
Oh, man.
That's the next one. Next one.
That's pretty hard to do.
I don't know. I've been trying to learn all the different placements of this, actually a Grateful Dead song. Called Eyes of the World. You guys familiar with the Dead? But there's a bunch of ways you can play it.
There we go.
So you can play it. You can play it down low.
Nice.
I'm not a deadhead.
Yeah.
I saw him twice back in the day because we were skateboarders who went to go skate with our friends, went to go do drugs. We went to go be skateboarders or whatever it was. But I did see it twice. But what I'm more interested in is his ability, Jerry Garcia's ability, to build that very simple rhythm, the band to get behind it, and then they all put it all over the place. It's kind of interesting. But to see where he would take it, because if you go, that's just a song I like. It's 16 minutes long, this song. It's a big jam.
Yeah.
But when you see him play it 7 or 8 different times, like, how does he not miss a note?
Yeah.
He did, maybe he didn't. But, when you start to pick apart his ability to make it different, that is an incredible talent. Right now, you go see a band, and they play the Rush the way they play. They da 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 da.
Yeah.
Da, 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 you don't fucking, you can't screw that up.
Nope.
And Neil Peart,
Yes.
rest in peace, my
Yes.
well, they have to hit that note, but there was some, you start changing some of the, like, I don't even know what you call it, like the majors and the minors even sometimes.
Yeah.
They take it to new places. So anyway, that's just something that's interesting to me as somebody tries to learn, try to learn the song and play the song, and this is how you do it. But it's like there's a weird thing there to, like, I don't know, like, wow, man, the band and then they would all just go off in their own little directions, and then they all come back and bring it to this weird, interesting point. So I've just been kind of like taken by that, because listen, there's a lot of it where it's like, I'm just not interested. Like, there's all kinds of Grateful Dead fans, but I think I might be the studio kind. I love the studio records.
What?
Right? Yeah. I like what they went in and made a song, and you listen to the studio record, and that's how they, but it's like, I'm learning to go and nerd out on the couple songs that I do. Listen, by the way, they did some shit where it's like, I can't even get into it. Tell me to listen to some of these, like, Fish or Day. I can't do any of that stuff. It's not for me,
Really?
But there's something about those guys. It's like, I saw them. They were kind of the pinnacle of all that. And it's interesting to me. But anyway, I don't know. Other than that,
I was wondering.
all right, let's wrap this shit up.
You know what? That was actually a really good way to wrap this up. It's just it's a matter of making things fluid enough that it works for what you've got going. I mean, you're a living legend, and this has been, honestly, dude. And hey, although we are literally same amount of years in this place, this has been like the highlight of my whole career. So I have to appreciate this, honestly, because I've been working on my own craft, and granted, building businesses that, but like interviewing you, who've like.
Well, thank you.
You're totally doing.
I'll
honestly,
go check out all your. I'll check all you guys' work out.
Dude, it's just a matter of just like you're cool shit, and you're legit, and you put the right message out to everybody that you embody the whole Angry Designer podcast persona, the vibe, the tenets, everything that we've like fucking. You are it, dude. Yeah. Seriously, it's like almost like we built this whole podcast around you. So I thank you.
Well, who's next?
Honesty. Who's next? Dude. Well, honestly, I think next. I don't want to say who's next. We have one more next. Yeah. One more next, and I'll say it afterwards. But you know what I mean? It's just a matter of like it's about doing something past the norm, and you've done it. Like seriously, you've been the mad dog. You've been like the underdog the whole time, and that's why I've had respect for you for years. Like we're talking like literally like 10, 15 years, dude. It's ridiculous. Yeah, fanboyed about you. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, it's been a good run. Yeah. So listen.
I appreciate you saying all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
dude.
It's not lost on me that I kick fucking ass. Don't just kidding.
Hell you do. Yes, you do.
Just so you understand, it's kind of squirmy to hear all that stuff.
I know. You don't want to yeah. Don't worry about it.
But part of this is I do the same when I meet these rock and rollers.
Yeah, exactly.
And they are teaching me how to take it in and keep pushing it back out. And I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. And also, fuck all whatever this means. Just to sit and meet a couple cool guys and bullshit.
Dude, you fucking rock. You've been like awesome, dude.
Right. Yeah, release me from this. Release me from this. I'm gonna get back to my bullshit life here of folds.
Fucking rock, dude.
Thanks, and I'm gonna
thank you for this.
I'm gonna call my doctor too. So you've really inspired me.
Man.
I know.
Aaron, you are amazing, man. You are a gentleman. You are a gentleman, and honestly, I can't thank you enough for this.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
You know what? Time. We're gonna like fangirl over you, and we're gonna follow you, and we'll see you when you come up over this side of the world.
All right.
Back to Hamilton.
All right, brother.
All right. See you.
All right. See you, man.
Match.
All right. In true traditional Angry Designer style, that was the longest end to any episode ever. It's like we never know when to say goodbye. It's like that awkward, like, okay, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up first. Needless to say, wow, right? I mean, again, it was such a cool episode. It was such a great way. And us as Canadians, it was kind of cool that he ended on playing us a riff from Blue Rodeo, one of Canada's proudest bands. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of cool anyway. But needless to say, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this is what you were hoping for, expecting, or not expecting, but in a good way. Because again, we don't want to disappoint, and we want to make sure we keep delivering the kind of stuff that you guys actually want to listen to. So please give us feedback. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if it was what you wanted to hear, what you want to hear in the future with other people. And by all means, share us with everybody you love or hate. By all means, give us high fives on Instagram, on YouTube, or anywhere else that we are, and leave us a damn review. It's the necessary evil in this podcast world. So that's what you got to do for us. All right. I wish you all an amazing day or night. By all means, stay creative and stay angry.